Hey guys, I'm the Burke and I do things, and today is going to be my quarterly makeup roulette. I typically do this at the end of my quarterly inventory updates. However, since I was updating for a full year's worth of like comparisons at the end of my fourth quarter one, I said I would do the roulette separately. If you're not familiar, I basically just go through my entire collection and let a number generator randomly choose a full face of makeup for me. I don't have anywhere to be today, so it doesn't matter how bad it turns out. Ideally, I would like it to look nice, but beggars can't be choosers sometimes. Phoebe has had us up since 4:30 this morning, so I'm feeling like that. So I feel like let's just get into this. I will say my collection is not at its tip-top most organized at this moment, so I'm really hoping I can find everything that the generator chooses. Let's go. And I won't be going through every single little like inventory number in this update. So if you are wondering about all of that, you can check out my quarterly update linked up here. But the first thing I always do is my spreadsheet starts off with bronzers, blushes, highlighters, and face palettes. So I let the generator choose between one, like individual products, or two, a face palette, and then from there I build the rest of the face. I do like to get one cream and one powder in each of the categories of bronzer, blush, and highlight. So let's just see what we do. And I use the just like number generator that Google provides, nothing super fancy. And we got one, so that'll be individual bronzers, blushes, and highlights. So I'll draw in each of those categories until I get a powder and a cream in each. So starting with bronzers, I have 17. We got 15, which is cream. And now let's draw for a powder. 6 is powder. I will say both of those bronzer shades are a little bit more of a summery shade for me, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, for blushes, I have 39. 5. 5 is a cream blush. So let's also try to get a powder. 36 is cream, so let's draw again. 4 is cream, so let's draw again. 33 it's cream. Let's draw again. Oh my goodness. 38. There we go. That one is a powder. Okay, so lastly we have highlighters, and I do have 15. So number 15 is a powder. Oh dear. Okay, let's pick a cream. 14 is a cream. Perfect. So the next category is eyeshadows. So I'm again gonna let the number generator choose between 1 and 2. 1 will be any random palette in my collection. I can do any eye look with it. Or 2 will be 5 random shadows from my entire collection. So I'm really hoping for one palette, but let's see what we get. And we get 5 random shadows, of course. So I have 382 shadows that this can choose from. So our first, so our first shadow is number 132. Okay, our second shade will be 173. I feel like I know what shade that is, and that's scary. Next we have 216. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this is actually a palette I use a lot, but this is not a shade that I typically reach for within the palette, so that's interesting. Next we have 174, which is interesting because we got 173 already, so those are shades that are next to each other in a palette. Oh god, this is gonna be a really dark look, I can tell. These are not light colors. All right, our last shade is 159. We got all really high numbers this time. Okay. Great. Starting off the day really interesting. All right, the next category is foundation. Ideally, I would like something that is my winter shade. So if I get something that I feel like is gonna be way too deep, we'll just draw again. Number 29, that is perfect. That's probably the thing I'm the most excited for. Okay, next, concealers. I do have 11, and I'm gonna try to make this so that I have a shade that works for me. Some of my shades are too deep, some of them are too light, so I do mix and match a lot of the time. So let's see what kind of combination we wind up with. Oh, number 1. That one's a little bit deep. So I would ideally like to also roll for one that's too light to be able to mix them together. Number 6. You know what, let's just try it. I don't know if this combination will work, but it's just, we're just doing this for science. Next, for setting sprays, I have 22. 20. Okay. Brow products, ideally I'd like to roll both a pencil and a brow gel. So we have 15. Number 6 is a pencil. And then let's roll for a gel. 14, pencil. 1, gel. There we go. Eyeliners. I would like to roll a pencil and a liquid. So I have 12. 10 is a pencil. So let's try to get a liquid as well. 4 is a pencil. 9 is a pencil. 10 is what I've already rolled. Oh my goodness. 6 is a liquid. So we'll do 6. Okay, next we have face powders. So we have 13. 7 is, that's like a setting powder. I'm trying to figure out, do I also want to use some sort of like a finishing powder? No, it's okay. We'll just do setting powder today. It's perfectly fine. All right, primers. I have 21. 11. Okay. Okay, so for lip products, we have lipsticks, liquid lipsticks, lip glosses, lip liners. So I'm going to let the number generator choose between 1 and 4. And we got lip liners. So maybe we'll do a lip liner and a lip gloss we'll choose. So for lip liners, I have 11. We got number 5. And then, like I said, we'll do a lip gloss on top of that. I have 33. And we landed on 32. Perfect. Okay, the last category we have is mascara. I have 21 in my collection. And this is number 20. Alrighty. I'll be right back with all the makeup. This may very well be one of those makeup looks that I have to wash off as soon as I'm done this video because, yeah. Anyway, starting with our primer. I landed on number 11, which is my backup First Light priming filter. This was in my video of products I want to use up this year. I have never been crazy about the First Light. I feel like it's a lot thinner than the Backlight, and I always liked the consistency of the Backlight more than this one, but I'm definitely glad I got something a little bit more hydrating because my skin is so dry right now. For concealers, I landed on 1 and 6. So I'm going to be using a combination of the Pretty Vulgar Undercover Concealer and the Pokey Be Bright Illuminating Concealer. I think between the two of these, I should be good with getting something usable on my face. Pretty Vulgar came from BoxyCharm and Pokey came from Ipsy. I will say neither one are my favorite. I've actually used up one of these from Pokey before in a different shade. This one is light, which is a little bit deeper than I prefer in a concealer, and I think the one I finished up from them was the shade Fair. But neither one of these are going to be really great for spot concealing, which is not ideal because I have not a very full coverage foundation. So I'm going to use a brush to blend it out on my face. This is a Moda Buffer brush. Then I'm going to go in with an e.l.f. sponge and blend out the concealer on my eyes. All right, for foundation, I did land on the Fenty Eaze Drop foundation. I have been wearing this so much lately. This was the only foundation I actually had in my 2022 MDs. It's definitely my favorite foundation. The longevity on it is so good, but also I like the finish a lot. It's very natural looking. This is definitely my favorite product of the entire video, so it's only downhill from here. For a liquid bronzer, I landed on the Eye Bright Illuminating Under Eye Concealer in Caramel from Makeup Revolution. It's so funny that my favorite cream bronzer now is from Makeup Revolution, but it's certainly not this thing. I'm gonna work fast because I feel like if you don't move fast, it does not blend very well. So I'm gonna do one side at a time. I also think I had this in my products I want to use up this year video. I don't know. See, if you can see, it's like there's this much left, so that seems like a lot. I don't know how realistic that is. For cream blush, I have the Flower Beauty Blush Balm in the shade Pinched here. The shade Nectar is actually from my video of products I want to finish up this year. I find this formula very easy to work with. You can't really like do too much. It just kind of blends very well. I'm just gonna stipple it for right now. Then I'm gonna go over it with my sponge and just make sure everything's kind of blended in together. For a liquid highlight, I landed on the Vanessa Myricks Vision Flush in the shade Tiara. I got this in an Ipsy Glam Bag last year. I like the blush shade I got more than this, but it's not a bad product. It's just not something I reach for very frequently. Yeah, actually the blush shade was in my best beauty video from last year. Okay, for under eye setting powder, I got this Cover FX setting powder, this little sample. Funny enough, coming this month in my empties video will be another sample of this that I finished up. What's very funny is it actually lasted me so much longer than I expected. I thought it was going to be done in like a week, but This little thing has a lot of powder in it, and I feel like it lasted a couple weeks of use out of it. It is a good under eye setting powder. I have gone through a couple samples of it before, and I'm going in with an e.l.f. small tapered brush to set it all. I'm gonna keep this out though in case I need it for blending eyeshadow, because yeah. So for brows, I landed on the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. I have this in the shade Neutral Brown, and then also the Easy Breezy Brow from CoverGirl, and I have this in the shade Clear. I like the thicker brow pencil from e.l.f. better. I think the formula's a little better in that one, but this isn't the worst. It works well enough to the point where like I can use up this pencil, ideally this year, but it's not one that I would repurchase. And this brow gel's, it's not bad. It's not an all-time favorite, but it's one of the very few that survived my declutter this year. So that's saying a lot. Now before I do my eyeshadow, I'm gonna do my powder bronzer. I landed on the BH Cosmetics Brilliance Bronzer. I have this in the shade Golden Gal. It's not really a winter shade for me, to say the least. So I'm, oh God. So I'm gonna have to tread lightly, which apparently I didn't. Use leftover setting powder to blend it a bit. I do like this one. They don't even make it anymore, but I do like that bronzer a lot. Okay, eyeshadows. Let's start off with, I only have one matte to work with. So the first shade I landed on was 132, which comes from the Too Faced Gingerbread Spice palette. So already I thought it was gonna be like a deeper shade. And it's this shade here called Warm and Toasty. So it's like a very, very warm golden shade. So that's our first shade. The next shade, so we got 173 and 174. I said they were back-to-back shades. They're from EVH Sultry, and they are Cyborg and Slate. The silver and the gray, aka gray, is the only matte I got. And it's not even like a, it's not even like a nice matte. Oh God. Okay. Then I got number 216, which is from Natasha Denona Mini Nude. I don't want to hold this up because I'm afraid shades will fall out, but it's this shade, which I don't use this shade very often. Does it have a name? Bronze Edge. So we literally have gold, silver, and bronze in this look, which, you know, naturally works so well. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. And then the last shade is number 159, which comes from the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, so another Too Faced palette, which is Live in Lavish, which is this purple shade, which literally looks like I've never even used it before. I'm doomed. So naturally, I somehow need to start with the gray. I want to find the fluffiest brush I have cleaned, which so many of my brushes are dirty, but this one looks pretty fluffy. This is a Farrah tapered blending brush. It's pretty big. I'm gonna lightly go in with Slate and just kind of do something. I do want to make sure it's like focused only on the outer portion. I really don't want to bring that in. And then I want to use something without any on it here. This is a, oh, this is actually the brush that came with my Naked Honey palette. And I'm just gonna kind of really almost make that disappear. That's the plan for right now. I feel like I need to do some sort of gradient. I just can't figure it out. It's almost like I need to do 2 up here and 2 under here, but like they don't go together. Like I feel like I can make these 2 work together and these 2 work together, but how do I make all 4 work together? All right, we're just gonna wing it. I'm gonna start with, actually, I'm gonna start by putting glitter primer all over my entire eye. Literally everywhere. I'm also gonna put a little under. I've never really done this, but let's see what happens. Okay. I'm gonna start with the silver, and I need to use a brush. Something small. This is from AOA. It's like a really tiny pointed brush. I'm gonna go in with the silver. Put that right there. Like tap it in. Right there. The silver. Then I'm gonna take something a little larger. This is a MOTD smudge brush, and I'm gonna go in with the gold from Too Faced. And put that next. Yep, those definitely don't naturally blend together. Then I'm gonna use the same brush. I'm gonna just flip to the other side and go in with the Natasha Denona bronze shade. So before I start to deal with the purple, I'm gonna go back in with the fluffy brush that I used with the matte and just start blending the edges of this. So the last shade I have is the purple. I'm gonna go with more of an angled brush. This is a Moda liner brush. Let me see what just happens if I just start. I think I wanna like go from here and drag the purple out. Don't know how I feel about that. I might have to do the liner the black liner and then the purple. Let me just match up what I did on this side at least. Okay, I'm probably gonna do the liner off camera because I need to like really focus, but I landed on the Physicians Formula Waterproof Eye Booster and my NYX retractable eyeliner. I'll be right back. I mean, it's not 100% great, but it's better than it was. So I just needed to like close my eyes and think about this. So what I wound up doing was I added the wing liner, and then I took the purple and I kind of dragged it up and over, and then I mixed in more of the gray matte just to kind of blend it together. And then I wound up going in with more base products because I felt like the base was too light for this makeup look. I will say the powder highlight I feel like is going to bring this together even more, but right now this is where we are. I wish I had more matte shadows to work with, but this is just a game. I don't know what else to say. I'm gonna go in with the blush that I drew, which is from Tarte, and this is their Shape Tape Glow Blush in the shade Luminous Pink. My mom actually gave me this for my birthday last year. I don't think I've ever actually used this on camera. It is really pretty. I didn't know what to think about it, but it is a very pretty blush. It's very glowy though, which, you know, it's okay because the powder highlight I drew, instead of using it directly on my cheeks, I think I'm gonna incorporate it into my eye look. I know you're probably like, oh goodness, you already have so much shimmer on your eyes. Why would you want more? And the answer is because it's my gold highlight, and that's why. So this is the Aether Beauty Diamond Dust Highlighter, and it is literally gold. So I'm thinking of adding this to my inner corner. I'm gonna go in with this pointed brush here. I'm just gonna add it here. I think it will tie in really well with the gold in my eye look and add a little bit more cohesive look to it. Definitely a very shimmery look today. For setting spray, I landed on the Urban Decay All Nighter, which we gotta last. This makeup's definitely gotta last. Now let's do mascara. I landed on the Mile High Club from Wander Beauty. I actually got this in my Ipsy bag in December. I haven't opened it yet, but this is one of my favorites from a few years ago. I've definitely used quite a few tubes of this. So I'm gonna apply a bunch of this and then I'll be right back. Okay, mascara on. Now for the lip combo. I landed on the Makeup Forever pencil in Whatever Walnut. This is like a free sample I got, I think from Sephora. Shade's probably a little cool for this eye look, but I think it'll be okay. And then I landed on the Pillow Balm. I have the banana one here from Too Faced. This was in my makeup regrets last year because it's plumping and I don't understand why a balmy lip product needs to be plumping. I mean, is it the best look ever? No, but somehow I kind of pulled it together. Certainly glad I don't have to go out in public today with my silver bronze gold eyes. But this is this quarter's makeup roulette. The next one will be in my first quarter inventory update, which will come in April. Hope you enjoyed this. First time doing makeup on camera in 2023. So is this an omen to this year or not? You can let me know what you think down below. Do you guys have any of these products? Do you love any of these products? Do you think that you could have done something better? Because I feel like I don't have that gene where I just look at something like this and I'm like, I know what to do. So let me know what you guys would have done in the comments. I don't love having a lot of under eye shadow anymore. I feel like it makes me look as tired as I feel. So let me know in the comments. And yeah, that is it for this video. As usual, thanks for stopping by my channel. If you're new here, click the subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. I have my Instagram down below. Give it a follow and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.